G'day everyone, Professor Maple here. We're back on Maple's World. Today, we're just taking a look at the base. Last episode we worked on the wheat hex over there for the Settlers of Catan project. And I've just been looking around the base a little bit here. Oh, we also worked on the bee farm way down there, that yellow hex down there. Um, and I know I say this every once in a while, but this base is really starting to fill up. It's starting to fill out real nice. But one thing I've noticed, if we look in this direction, aside from the torches on top of the item room, I'll sort something out about that at some point. But aside from that, there's one big major eyesore in this base. And it's not just these torches, it's not just those hexes that will soon be converted to other things. We've got this big old iron farm that is no longer functional since 1.14 when they changed how villages exist and work and function and stuff. Work and function, I'm pretty sure, are the same. They're synonyms, but whatever. So we've got this sort of big block of stone bricks, which still contains villagers. You can hear there are villagers still inside these little pockets here, and we've got to do something with this. I've got to find a new place for these villagers. These are legacy villagers. I don't even know if they're useful anymore. I haven't really done much looking into that actually. I should sort that out. But yeah, we've got that. We've also had some resources deplete because of the bee farm, which we will get to in a little bit here as well. But basically, I think for the next leg of the hey bee, speak of the bees, for the next leg of the Settlers of Catan Hex project, instead of moving on to let's see, we've got our clay, we've got our sheep, we've got our desert, we've got our wheat. The last two resources are going to be ore and wood, right? But that's we're not going to do either of those today. What we're instead going to do is kind of get started thinking about, not really started building, but thinking about one thing that I haven't really represented yet in the Settlers of Catan project here are cities and towns and cities, which or you may not know if you don't play Settlers of Catan or haven't played it. But basically, the point of that game is to build, expand your influence over this island, and you build cities, old towns, and then they upgrade to cities later in order to do that. And we've got some harvesting to do here. Do this while the bees are out. Oh, and yeah, I can harvest the top ones without angering the bees because the next block underneath this hive here is a campfire, the same on that one. If you want to know more, I'll link my video to my good video. There's a bad video too, where we kind of experiment with that and we explain what's going on there. So yeah, we've got all these other things. We've got the desert where the robber lives. But the point of Settlers of Catan is to build towns and then cities to expand your influence to get the most victory points. And so I haven't done anything with this hex, which I originally built just to keep the rain out of the library down below. But now that we kind of have like this desert here and whatnot, I've put some walls in just as a guideline for the moment. So I want to make this into a town, and then the old iron farm I want to make into a city. So I figured there could be like a bridge that goes over this hex to connect the two. We're going to have walls kind of blocking each off. The bridge is only going to be for us, but there will be inhabitants. The town will have the villagers inside from the iron farm, the legacy villagers. We'll do that. And then the city we'll have all of these pillager raider types who've been stalking my base a little more frequently recently. I thought they nerfed them and then um, they seem to be coming back, which I think I kind of like them showing up once in a while. I don't mind that. It's just when it's all the time it gets annoying, right? Same with the wandering trader. I actually had this poor wandering trader show up at the same time the other day. That was maybe not the best decision on his part, but that's all right. I wrangled these guys quickly, and he didn't die from that. He probably just wandered off after a couple days in game. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna take a quick look at probably tearing this down or trying to figure out what I want to do with it. And I'm gonna find a bed here. Just a sec. That's better. But some of the other things that we need to do today, and I say today, for you guys it's going to be today. For me it's going to be over probably several days or something. But you see this honey farm right here, the honeycomb and the honey bottle farm. Well, it used to fill the system with enough honey bottles. Well, let's see, it takes three blocks of glass to make a bottle, or 3 bottles, I guess. But because there's so many, let's see, there are 9 slots in the dispenser hopper. So each of those has a stack of 64 bottles, okay? And you've got each hopper has 5 slots, also each filled with 64 bottles, right? I've got 8 of those. So if you math that, that's a lot. I'm not going to math that because and so we have this hopper line that goes into it from this chest here. It's empty. Not the hopper line, but the chest is empty. There's no backflow. So there's a lot of glass in this system right now. And there was a lot of smelting terracotta because I like the bee colored pattern thingy on the terracotta. We had the glass on the outside, pardon my growling stomach. There's just so much stuff you have to smelt these days to get things to look nice. So we need to make ourselves a good smelting hub here. So what we're gonna do, because I've built an industrial smelter in the Nether for fish specifically. It's full of smokers. So down here, again to continue the gentrification of the base, the beautifying of the base. We're going to have this hex be like a general smelting hex that we will fuel with some sort of fuel. That's going to be a project coming down the line too. And then this hex here, I've already cleared it out, even though I should clear out this one first. Oops, that's a torch. Let's replace that. There we go. I should clear out this hex first, actually. But this will be a general smelting hex. This one will house our blast furnace, which we already experimented with, and our smokers. There will be an industrial version of each here, just in case I ever need them. I probably should never need it. I don't do much mining anymore. I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but like now that I can farm iron, I don't mine anything, really. Like diamonds, I've got mending, so I don't need more diamonds. I've got I think emerald ore would be a nice thing to have, but other than that, I don't really have any plans to mine. Maybe for redstone or something later. I could always use more redstone. But yeah, there's all this room here under the library and the item hex that I think we could put some smelters in, and it'd be really useful, and it'd be a good time. So that's the thing. One other thing that I've found with the bee hex is that because bees need flowers to breed, to make more bees, I've used up a lot of my flowers. Like, I like flowers. I've got lots of flowers. But I've had to resort to the 2 tall ones to breed the bees because I can just bone meal those ad infinitum, or whatever the Latin is. Basically as much as I want. Oh, hi, tree farm. So because of that, I think we're gonna have to do a flower farm. So I'm not really sure what order this is gonna happen in, because I kind of need all of them. The flower farm is, well, there are gonna be two of them because, I like my blue orchids, so we have to have one in the swamp on its own, and then we're gonna have to find a flower forest and build another one there. But basically, the flower farm is going to be the less resource intensive farm. So I might start with that first. I'm not sure. You'll find out in a moment or two here. I'm not going to lie. I kind of thought I was going to do a flower farm first. But we're doing the bridge. The bridge is one bit we're doing first. We're going to start on this sort of bit between the town and the city hex areas. So yeah, I'm trying to. I think this is a good width here. We've got for like a very old stone bridge, like a very important main bridge. We've got what's that? Nine blocks wide. 9 blocks wide. Yes, that's what that is. So yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna have it span our ocean here, or our. I guess it represents a river in this case, more likely. Uh, we've got these grunting guys over here, and we're basically gonna open this up because this was all just opened up for. I was gonna do like a Portal 2 style abandoned lab kind of thing down there, but that never really happened. So it's just gonna become part of that city that we're building now. Maybe they have some like mining operations or something in here. I don't know. Maybe we can kind of keep a lot of the infrastructure. Depends on how I want to work with this. But yeah, we're gonna open this up to be about as wide as the bridge, and I maybe want to do maybe the pilings of the bridge, like the structural. It looks like they hold the bridge up kind of bits, maybe in like polished andesite or something different than stone brick, just to make it look not more the same. Because otherwise this is all just gonna look like one blob of stone brick, and you don't want that. But I think we're going in a good direction here. I think the bridge width is good. I'm gonna have to make it not just a big long rectangle. It's got to have little like outcroppings and things for people to look out on. Even though this river is more representative than or like more meant to represent a river than to actually look like a river. But that's just how it would be. So I think now I wanna sort this door, this opening. I don't like it. It's got to be a different shape. So I think I'm gonna work that out bit by bit. Actually, that's not so bad. I maybe want a little bit more peak here at the top. Does that look all right? I don't hate it. Okay, all right. We'll kind of sort something out here, and we'll come back once I've got a little more progress on the way here. All right, guys, we're back, and I've started these pilings here. The main sort of structural elements holding the bridge in place here. I started out with this, and I was like, that looks too much. That's too much of the andesite. I like the andesite, the polished andesite texture, but it's just too much of it, and it just looks like a big block of rock. So I did a little bit of experimenting by putting the stone bricks in amongst the andesite, which I thought broke it up quite nice. And then on top, it was like still kind of rectangular like that. And I was like, well, what if we put lights in there? So I put lights in, and at first I had just half slabs on top, like the top of the tractor there. But it looked kind of flat. And I was like, okay, well, what if we do stairs and then that? And then that's kind of what we got. We got a spawn-proof roof. We've got a light. We've got some iron bars to kind of make it look a bit more like a intended thing, like a built structure by someone. And we've got our little lanterns inside. So I think we're just gonna do this for all, at least 4 of them. It's going to be 2 at each end of the bridge and maybe a couple in the middle. I'm not sure. But we're gonna do that, and we'll kind of come back after that's sorted and whatnot. All right, guys, we are back. I've just been putting this the bottoms of these struts in together. You can see there's a little bit of prismarine kind of glitching around in there, but yeah, this is the underside of the bridge above. I just wanted to make sure that it kind of fits in to the rest of the base a little bit. Looks a bit more structural. He says, describing a base that has just floating discs of land everywhere. But basically, I kind of want the idea of this, if we were weaving the lore of this build. The Illagers, the Raiders, they don't have as much of the, we'll say, magical power from the beginning of the world that kind of lets these floating discs exist, which is why they have to, or had to, when they built this bridge, put in supports and whatnot on either side here. So what we've got is I've finished the bridge. We've got sort of a change in technology as we go along here. We've got lanterns on the end where the village is, even though the village is not as populated or whatever. Maybe that's why the Illagers raid the villages so often, is because the villagers have some magic. They've got clerics and stuff, and it's basically like they want to kind of take it back, and that's why they fight all these miniature little wars every once in a while. Lore of the world. That's gonna be. So we've got the technology, and then it sort of gets in the middle of the bridge. You've got these campfires lighting the place, and I also had to light the middles a little bit more, so we've got these carpets here. And then at the end here, I might replace these with campfires too, because the torches, they fit the technology breakdown. They don't have as much access to iron as the villagers do, but it says right as we have a lantern here. Yeah, let's see how this lantern fits. So aside from that, I've been, yeah, the torch maybe looks better in context here. Yeah, I'll replace those with campfires. But we've also got at the end of the bridge, well, you saw me knock through the wall here. We've also got what's gonna start the Illager city. And I wanted to have wide walkways so that like pillager beasts can get through and stuff. I think that's a neat idea. You're not going to see a whole lot of vegetation in here, not just because the Illager beast kind of destroys it all, but also because they have a tendency of, well, let's just say this side of the river, things don't grow too well. That's another reason why the Illagers in the lore of this space we're creating attack the villages. They try to steal things from them, both food and magic and probably other things as well. But that's why they are the robber. They are the robber on the other side of the desert from the village, sort of. Not the way I've got it arranged, but maybe in lore. It's again representative, not or built to represent the thing, not to exactly be a scale version of the thing or anything like that. So yeah, we're going to have a walkway that goes down into the depths of the city here, which on one hand, I'm like, that's a great idea. It's probably going to be really cool and whatnot. But on the other hand, because like it'll be cool because there'll be all like forges and things down here and a mining operation maybe and that sort of thing. And up here will be like where people live and stuff. But I have the feeling as soon as I have a lower area in the city, they're going to all just gravitate down to the bottom, especially when we have all these half slabs on the stairs. So we'll see how that goes. Every once in a while, I might just come in here, run through, and aggro them all back up here. I need to trigger a raid or two somewhere at some point so I can get some Illager beasts bring them over here. But for the time being, we're just gonna focus on building the thing, and then we can fill it later. I feel like that's gonna be a lot harder once we have Illager beasts and Ravagers and everyone in here. So we're gonna build the thing, and then we're gonna populate the thing, and we're also gonna have to get the villagers out of the thing, which I think might be the trickiest task of all. Even though they cause you no damage and whatnot, it's just me and villagers. We go way back. I don't really care for moving them too much. I was really hoping when I built this farm I was done moving villagers, but that's nope. That was a lie. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna just, I think we're gonna move on to something else here. I'm gonna keep building off camera. We'll see the progress next episode, I think. But I wanna switch it up. We'll get to something a little different. What are you doing in my item room? Come on, what the heck? If you're gonna pop up in like places you really shouldn't be, you should at least have some good trades. Come on. Yeesh. Anyway, we've got a fly here. We've got a different project to start work on, and it involves finding us some flower forests. Okay, we're minus 700. We're about 2,000 here. I should see somewhere. I think we've got it. I think we have got it. Let's see. Flower forest. Yes, good. We're here. We're here in the land of pretty flowers. And bees. Oh, there are more bees here. I might I probably should just leave them be, pun intended. But I might just take them home with me anyway. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Chances are pretty good there will be another set of them here somewhere, so that's fine. So now I just have to figure out what our optimal pattern. You've seen people make flower farms before. I just have to find the optimal pattern to grow all the flowers, and we'll kind of go from there. Now, is this flower forest still? It is. Interesting. And this is still flower forest? That's even more interesting. So there's all this whole lake area could be area that would be better off as grass. Alright guys, I've done a bit of progress here. We've been grinding away. There's still a lot more grind before I can really do what I want to do with this. So I'm going to describe what I am doing and what I'll be doing kind of probably between episodes, probably, or between cuts or something. I don't know. You might see this again this episode, you might not. You might see it later, I don't know. But I've been filling in these lakes with grass so that we can get more area for flowers to spawn when we bone meal it. This area here was in the middle of a lake before. Now look at all the green around it. What I'm also doing is outlining the flower forest biome. Thankfully, they're never really very big biomes, but in this case, I figured so I can get an idea of where all the flowers are basically spawning. When we get this set up, I'm flattening the area. Everything will be Y63 so that we can it's just easier to see everything where all the flowers are, especially from above, except for there's this mountain thing where the flower forest goes up the side of the mountain, and it's a lot of material and I'm not really prepared for it, so I'm just digging into the side of the mountain. That's fine, we'll figure something out. But over here we're doing basically the same thing. So anytime I see the word flower forest turn to forest or river biome or something like that, we're digging down, sticking a wood block in there, And I could probably just cut right through here now to flatten it out. But I figure I'm gonna outline it all first and then do that. So if we find our limit here, so this is fine. We want our block there, and now we've got room to just go nuts with this here. So this is not interesting to watch, and maybe a bit slow. So we're just gonna move on to another thing. All right, everyone. We're gonna end this episode here because I've got a lot of things on the go. More than I really expected I would. I'm starting the village hex surprise. Uh, I've just been working away. I haven't really been recording much because I've just been like in the zone. So anyway, we're hope you have a good now, have a good later, and if you want to see more of this, whatever this village turns into, what the city behind me turns into, and the flower farm and all the other stuff in between, then keep it locked in here on the subscription feed. Also, the smelting hex. We'll try that. We'll maybe see about next episode. If not, it'll be after we finish one of the projects that we've got going. All right. Have a good now. Have a good later. Goodbye.